Hey everybody, Perfect Castle here, and here we are with 25W, like 31A. And officially, this is my favorite snapshot because back in the day, when they gave us the vote for the LA and the Copper Golem, I was someone for Team Copper Golem. And they've added so many cool features. These features came to Bedrock first, and now the Java team is back after their little holiday. We have these features on Java, and I'm excited to share these features. We're going to start off with the copper chest, which you can craft, as you can see here, by surrounding one normal chest with copper ingots and then the copper block itself. Oh, my music's a bit loud. So, the thing is, they've added so many new features with the Copper Golem because I'm assuming it's not as, like, they didn't make it the way they initially said that where it's going to press buttons. It's actually acting more the way the Tuft Golem would have, where it would have been like an stand, which like would have put stuff in chests and stuff like that, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so if you have a copper chest, it has a nice little sound. I love that little gratiness. I see that all of these have rusted up, so just give me a second. I'm just gonna skip forward a bit. So, the copper chest is crafted in this way, and then with a honeycomb, you can like wax it in the crafting bench. I don't know if Bedrock has this as an option, but I've seen on Java you can like, you don't have to like coat it with the wax externally. You can do it on the bench. But you have all four versions of the normal copper chest, and then you have the waxed ones, which you can. All these chests can go double, and if you like, let me just put myself in survival. Okay, so the thing is, I'm just gonna get myself a pickaxe quickly again. I do apologize. My preparation is suboptimal, and that's probably why a lot of people already got their videos out. But if you were to take a partially rusted copper chest and you place it next to the normal one, it will prioritize which... wait, oh, did that just wax it? Did I just find a bug? Okay, but anyway, so if I'm not mistaken, then it's supposed to be like whatever the one to the left is, then the whole chest becomes that. But yeah, so we have the clean copper, we have the more corroded, and then the most corroded. I do apologize for just forgetting the names for all of them, but all four variants are available. Well, 8 variants if you take the waxed. Then they've added the new Copper Golem, which if you check here, you get them in every variant. Oh, every variant, and now I've accidentally... Okay, so they come in 8 variants, because you have the waxed and the unwaxed statues, right? And then if you go one past the waxing of the bare minimum, it will set the golem to life, and then they'll do sorting. I'll just explain that now. But if you can check here, each of the statues also give off a redstone signal when you use a comparator, and as you can see, like at base it gives off 1, at the second stage it gives off 2, the third stage it gives off 3, and at the fourth stage it gives off 4. At the end of the video, I'll quickly show you guys some building tips that I've like thought up. But yeah. So if we check over here, this is how you get the copper golem, and you also get the chest in survival as well. So you can just do that, do that, do that, and now we have 4 different like living copper golems. All of them can be waxed. So if we go over here, not over there, if we take the honeycomb out of this crafter and we place it on one of these bad boys, then they can't rust. But if they fully do end up rusting, that's how you get the copper golem statues in survival. And you can place them, like I said, by right-clicking on them, you can change their position. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to using these in my world. And the way it works is, as you can see, I have some chests here, so I'm going to take some of these diamonds, I'm going to take this trident, I'm going to take some of this wood, I'm going to take this redstone. On Bedrock Edition, I know they can reach the top shelves, but on the bottom, yeah, they can only reach the bottoms on Java, I think I've seen from my testing. And also, they can only carry up to, I think, 16 of a block. Like, they can only take 16 of a stack and move that to a suitable chest. They'll move the items into chests that have matching items, so if my trident here will end up in the trident chest, and then the same will happen for like the redstone stuff. And if they don't find a chest that has the item that matches it, then they'll just put it in an empty chest. And also they can only check 10 chests in a session, so they'll like they'll be like, oh, I can't find the diamonds in these chests, then they'll bring the diamonds back, they'll take something out of the chest again, and then they'll just like look for a chest that has it again, so they can like check up to 10 chests and then they give up. So as you can see, he took the wood, he saw that the wood was in that chest, and then he just put the wood in that chest. So you see 16 on top there, didn't auto go to that area there. But anyway, also a thing that I've noticed is if you have the new copper golem statues, the lightning will get rid of the rust up until the last stage. But unfortunately, I would have liked if the lightning could like activate them, because I've wanted like a machine where the copper golems gets activated. So if anyone sees this and wants to share it with Mojan and tell them, hey, can we make it so that the lightning rod can activate them, that would be really appreciated, like if we can get like the news up to that point. But yeah, but regardless, so they're gonna put the stuff in, they're gonna start sorting it out. Everybody's excited for them to do their item sorting. But yeah, and then the next thing they have is they have copper equipment, and I've shown off some of them. So I'm just gonna put myself in creative just for the off chance that I need some stuff. Not survival, creative. There we go. I love being able to autofill, but anyway. So you craft them as you'd normally craft your copper tools, and then the thing is, you'll be able to get any of the copper tools. They are less enchantable than iron, but they're like more enchantable than stone. They have this slightly less durability. They have like their durability is between stone and iron, whereas their like attributes, like their attack and their like their attack is the same as the as stone. And yeah, so their speeds of mining and stuff is similar to stone, but they'll have the durability of nearly iron. But yeah, I think most of the community wants these to be able to like erode over time as well. I'm personally an advocate for that as well, because I understand not making the ingots and everything rustable, because that's going to cause inventory clutter that no one asked for. But I would like if the armor and tools could like rust over time, because I think it would make like, I wouldn't say trims, but definitely making the tools and stuff rust would be nice. Because I think it's a nice color template. The thing is, you already have like your like leather, which has different colors. I think it would also add a uniqueness to this armor. It's like, oh, you've worn this armor since the beginning, it's fully rusted, so make it so that it like only erodes over time. And maybe make it so that it's like more enchantable by rusting, so like the longer you have the set of armor, like maybe make it like at like maxed rust, it can like be as useful as gold enchantability wise. I think that would be cool. Like the longer you have it, the more enchantable it is. It's almost like a bonding armor. But yeah, anyone that wants to recommend that to Mojang, I think, yeah, that would be cool. But as you can see, like the attack of the sword is 5, the same as a stone, but iron is 6. But the durability is close to this one. It's like between this one and this one. But the power is the same as this one. So I personally wouldn't really care that much about getting it. I still feel like they need to make it an actual in-between stage, because currently on Bedrock Edition, you can still use like the stone tools to be able to mine directly to iron, so you don't need copper. So I'm going to just check that on Java quickly. Just want to know if I can mine iron with it. I can. So anyway, I think if they really want to make copper the in-between, I feel like you should kind of make it as an actual in-between. Like, I don't feel like you should be able to mine iron if you have stone. I feel like since copper is there in between now, I feel like it should actually fill that role. So also it will keep people maybe on the early game a bit longer, or if they don't want to do that, I'd suggest the rustiness, making it like more enchantable or something. Or make it so that, like, let's say you have like a sword that has like copper, if it like starts rusting, giving like a mob poison or something. I think that would be a cool idea. But anyway, so that's the copper tools and the copper armor and the copper weapons. Then I forgot the lightning rods, but okay. So there's 8 versions of these bad boys. So the lightning rods, like I said, would be nice if they could like take the copper golems up to the last stage. But I'm just happy to see that these have different variants now, because I've had so many builds where like I wanted to use this, like let's say you use a vault and you like have the little turn handle parts. They would never rust, and then the rest of the thing would rust. Like, I would like to have, like, a worn-down vault or something, and then this thing is always so polished. So some of my structures will end up looking a bit better in my survival world. But yeah, I like the new versions. If I'm not mistaken, I think if lightning hits the waxed ones, they do not go back to the previous stage like with other copper blocks, because they want people to, like, if they use the darkest one, they don't want it to go back to that one. I think that with the copper, if they're waxed, then they won't go back a stage. But anyway, now, since I'm jumping around a lot, I do apologize for that. I was really excited for, like, sharing these features, and I realized how I thought I was fully prepped, and then I realized that I wasn't. But anyway, we have the copper nuggets now, which is craftable through putting a copper ingot in a crafting table, and then it will give you 9 copper nuggets, the same way as any other ingot except for netherite for nuggets. And also, if you smelt copper tools, then it will end up giving you copper nuggets as well. I'm not sure if this is a change on Java. I did check through the change log. I saw it on Bedrock. Mobs can spawn with copper tools now. I feel like lore-wise, I think zombies should be able to only spawn with like zombies and skeletons should still spawn with all the tool types, but I feel like copper tools should be exclusive to drowns because they're the only mob that can drop copper. And if they were able to rust, I feel like I would look cool if you had like a drowned covered in rusted copper armor, or it can have like random copper armor at different rust stages. But that's just an idea, Mojang. If anyone wants to share it with Mojang, definitely. I don't mind if anyone else wants to like share the ideas as well. These are just, yeah, I don't care if people share it. I'm fully supporting for like if we could get these features. But anyway, then we have the copper horse armor, which also a lot of people wants to be able to rust. Also taking up the same spawns as iron horse armor in your loot chest. So anywhere you can find iron horse armor, you can find copper horse armor now. So it's basically reducing your chances of getting iron horse armor, and it's slightly worse than your iron horse armor. But I think, again, it would be negated if it had that specialty of like rusting over time. I feel like that novelty in its own would be enough to justify like getting it. Like, oh, look, my horse had this armor since the beginning. Because that's the idea with copper, is its special thing is being able to rust. But anyway, and then over here we have the shelves, which is officially my favorite feature in this game, right? Like, if you take stripped logs of any type, you're able to get these new things called the shelves, okay? You can get them in any wood type. They have 2 states. They have like without redstone activation and with redstone activation. So I'm just gonna put these things in my hotbar, right? I want to put this in my hotbar. And yeah, so the thing is, you can either individually place stuff in it. I'm just gonna put myself in survival again. You can either place stuff individually in them, like the bookshelf. I love features like this where you can individually place stuff in them. So now you can hot swap as well. The only feature I would like to see with this as well is the same with the item frame. When something is placed in it where you can see a name tag, I'll explain why later when we get to my little building tips. But anyway, so if you have a powered one, you can like power them up to 2, you can power them up to 3. They max out at 3, they can be mixed and matched, they can like be not mixed and matched. So the thing is, if I place here, I put everything in, it takes the last 6 slots. It works from the back to the front, which I think is counterintuitive. I feel like it should be the first 3 slots and then after, but anyway. So if I was to go over here, they'll put everything in there. You can like also hot swap. Let's put ourselves. I'm just gonna go take that stuff out of this chest over here. Let's put this items in my hotbar. So let's say you want kits. Now you officially have kits, right? I've had ideas for this where you can make like a Call of Duty like style map, and yeah, or Hunger Games or something. It's like you can like hot swap your kit. So it's like, oh, my building kit, oh, my war kit. Building kit, war kit. But yeah, so you can do it with this as well. It goes from the like last 3. So if I were to let's quickly take this. Wait, do I have a pickaxe here? I do not. But anyway, if I were to break this, which is counterproductive. Sorry, I just had to cut that. Okay, so basically, if you had 1 powered like this, right, it will take from the last 3 slots. It will always take from the last 3, and then let's say you have 2 powered up, it will take the last 6, and then if you have all 3 powered up, it has the like full 9 stack, so it takes your whole bar, right? Also, apparently there's a binary to how they give out redstone, so I think it's like 0, and then it's like 0, and then that's like 1, and then that's like something like this, then it's 2. I don't understand the binary thing, but yeah, Mojan said that this can work like binary. I do apologize for anyone that's like frustrated with me not helping with that one, with the binary, but I feel like people like Mumbo Jumbo and those big redstone YouTubers, they'll have a better idea for how the binary thing will work. Under accessibility, there is now a new setting which you can enable, which is toggle attack and break and place and use. So let's go to options, then we go to accessibility. Oh, sneak. Here's your sneak is toggleable. Mouse settings. Here's the invert x-axis, so your x that's the next setting, is like if you enable this, it inverts your x-axis on your mouse. So if you go down, it will go up, and then if you go up, it goes down. And then I think here's the inventory mouse. I'm not entirely sure. They say it's under accessibility. Am I just blind? Oh, here it is. Here's your use, place, block, hold, toggle. So that makes it so that when we go out here, you can't just hold down you can toggle it so that if you're placing stuff, you can either hold it down or you make it so that you manually have to click. And then the same for attacking, so it's like you can either hold in, or if I make it toggleable, I can't hold it in. I just have to tap it individually. So that makes it so that the player can choose like in whichever way they wish to play. And then we have changes. So we have peaceful tooltip. So if we make the game mode peaceful, if we go to peaceful, and then I go into creative, and I go to spawn eggs, and I take a hostile mob, which would normally, there's now a tooltip that should show that these mobs can't be spawned. I'm not seeing that tooltip. Oh, okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm being silly. So now in peaceful mode, you can see whenever you hover over a mob that can't be placed, it will show disabled in peaceful. So it will give you the indication, hey, can't use this, it's peaceful mode. But yeah, so I'm not going to change that yet. And then I'm just going to drop these things out of my inventory. And then over here we have the debug screen, which now has something similar to Bedrock Edition, but anyway. So if you press F3 and F5 combined, now you have this menu here, which allows you to customize your debug screen. Because I know in Java it's normally cluttered, so you can be like your biomes always showing, or you can make it so that it's only in the F3 screen, or you can make it that it's completely off. So you can make it so that if you go into the F3 screen, it doesn't show any of the stuff. So I'll show always on for biomes, and then we're going to show FPS always on. And then let's pick coordinates. Where's coordinates? Player position. There we go. Always on. And then if you check, almost like on Bedrock Edition, it's always active. So now I can always... unfortunately, you can't just have the coordinates. I think they'll add that eventually where you can just have the X, Y, and Z. Because I think the block and the chunk and facing should be removed there. But for people that are more technical or less technical and just want to be able to see coordinates all the time, you can do that now. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, I'm just going to keep the coordinates on. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then also, they have made a change that is in line with Bedrock Edition, which is the spawn chunks. They no longer exist on Java. In old Java Edition, when you used to load into a world, like I think your first... think 3x3 of chunks or something like that would always be loaded, so that if you like had friends joining your world, then at least it would load them in quicker. Now it is a change that is similar to Bedrock Edition, where nether portals and like flying ender pearls will load those chunks, and the spawn chunks have been completely removed because apparently they're like more legacy and they just use up a lot of performance. So I believe a way you can kind of cheese it by getting your chunks to be always loaded is like that one thing people do of the bubble columns and throwing an ender pearl in it. I think now your chunk should be loaded. I'm not entirely sure how they mean with that, because they say that it's similar to Bedrock with the spawn chunks being removed, and that that portals and ender pearls flying will load those chunks. But yeah. But anyways, guys, I'm just gonna show you guys the tips and then, or my little building ideas, and then I'm gonna like call it a day with this video. But anyway, firstly, I have a actual playable chessboard. You can kind of see the reason I'd also like to be able to see the name tag. So it's like, let's say I go here, like in chest. So I'm just gonna put myself in survival. You can make an actual working chessboard now. So it's like that, and then your friend can move. I think you've always been able to make a chessboard in Minecraft, but like I feel like it's the most like actually playable version of a chessboard. So if anyone wants to play chess on Minecraft, I know it's a bit nerdy picking this, but yeah, you can now do that. That's my first building tip. My next one, none of these look pretty. You can make them look way prettier. My next one is you can play poker now in Minecraft. I'm gonna like hopefully suggest this to players like Mumbo Jumbo, because I feel like they can do it better with redstone. But anyway, so like let's say, okay, so this is where the dealer would be. So let's say the first card, like, I'd like them to be able to be named, so that if you can make like an ace 2 and a spade 3 and stuff like that. So then, sorry, I forgot. Mojan I would also appreciate if we were able to like place them from the back, but I understand why we can't. But anyway, so the dealer would place down that, and then let's say someone would bet you'd use your wool as your chips, so you'd place this, and then someone else would place like they up the bet with like netherite, so that person's betting gold. You can decide whatever the chips are and like how this works, but anyway. And then this person has 2 diamonds and a clover. And basically the match is over, so then they'd be like, okay, well, they got it. That's why I would like to be able to see what the different names are. Like, I don't know how they would do it. Maybe like have like a small text box or something. But then like everyone can like place their full set of cards here. So like, let's say before they placed, I'm mis-explaining everything. But like, let's say, so the person first goes like here, and then like people can start folding and stuff, and then that's when people can like show their cards, like show what they were dealt. After anyone playing Texas Hold'em, or Texas, I think it's Texas Hold'em or something like that, you'd be able to do that. I'm hoping that like some big creator like really likes poker and like has a better way for, like, I also don't know how to fully make it so that the cards can be dealt out at random to the different people, so that's why I'd like to recommend it to someone like Mumbo Jumbo. But anyway, so yeah, that's the idea for this. It doesn't look as good, it's just the idea, it's proof of concept. A lot of these are. And then this, like using your, I think it's called skirting at the bottom of it, like walls. I've had this idea, but I've seen it like all over the internet. I think everyone's brain went straight to this when they saw the new shelf block and being like, hey, I can make it so that I have actual shelves, and like, or you can use the shelves for this. Like, it just really looks like that stuff that you see in the movies, man. I don't know what to call this, but yeah. You can also decorate like pillars and stuff now. Usually you'd use trapdoors for this. I put redstone on top to have like a different effect, so you can have two different variants of this. You can have like either the like gridded, or you can have the flush, like if you put redstone in. And then, as you can see, my redstone skills are terrible, but if you were to make a dungeon or something, and you'd have these statues, you can make it so that different poses. I don't remember what this one is supposed to be. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be that one needs to change first. No, this one needs to change first. So this one has to be at 1, and then the other one has to be at 4. So I think. No, wait, not that one. This one has to be at 4. Okay, there we go. So you can make it so that different poses need to be like triggered. At least they can be used through walls. Not on bedrock yet, but yeah, so you can use that as this doorway. And I just got an idea while I'm here. Okay, this is just a mock-up representation, but you can use the new shelves as an I-beam for like skyscrapers and stuff. Like, it makes a really, really good I-beam. And also thinking of the I-beam, they can make some really nice railroads as well, because they have a nice little detail to them. They're not like full on like half slabs yet for like vertical slabs, but they do serve like a couple of nice purposes. And also another nice thing is like you can just like mini decorate them with like, if you use this little block over here, I could be like there. You can like add them like little screws, you know? Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If anybody enjoyed this video, I hope you all like, share, subscribe, and yeah, hope you all have a lovely day.